And welcome back, everyone, to part 7 of What If Naruto Ate a Devil Fruit, the Gomu Gomu no Mi edition. Last time, we left off with the Pain arc. Orochimaru had joined up with the Akatsuki, tried to go after the Eight Tails, failed, and so the Kage-sama was called. But there is no... Danzo is the 10th Kage, has to deal with Obito on his own, failed, would sacrifice himself within the Kamui dimension before Obito ever got his eye. He had to activate the seals he had on him for that. Now, little house cleaning. So I had given my response, but just to clarify real quick, my thoughts on the Orochimaru thing. Someone was kind of, what's the best way to put it? They didn't agree. I think that's the best way to put it. They did not agree, which is true. They did not agree with the theory that I had that Orochimaru would be joining the Akatsuki. Apparently, a lot of people think that Orochimaru would join Akatsuki, or a lot of people seem to think that way. This person did not, which is fine. It's fine. Like, we all are going to disagree on certain things. But the reason they says they don't think he doesn't just Kabuto joined only because Obito promised Sasuke in exchange, remembering at this point Sasuke was in the Akatsuki. I know, and they didn't see Orochimaru joining, and aside that, he would have been Kasane pretty much would have been the entire Akatsuki is nearly dead at this point. He'd been working on probably using the Shinigami mask to release his arms. Now let's not tackle that first one first. Yeah, he'd still be doing it, but it'd be pointless regardless. In this version, he would have already swapped for another body. The whole, I can't remember what it's called. It's the reincarnation jutsu. It's a 3-year jutsu. He has to wait every 3 years to use it. I don't know if he can use it sparingly or not, but if he has to, but he has to. The general rules, he has to wait 3 years. Now, when he came back after being absorbed by Sasuke, when Sasuke brought him back in the war, he was brought back. He was brought back anew. So it makes sense he could use the technique again. So I think that's an outlier. We have no indication he can use it outside of 3 years. So yeah, he'd be trying to figure out how to use the mask in the Uzumaki Shrine, but he'd still wouldn't be able to use it at any point in time. Because, he'd get his arms back, but they would his arms, because we know what happened when he did that. He cut the souls out of the Shinigami's stomach. His arms came back to him, and his arms suddenly went on fire, so he had to possess a white Zetsu to do that. He'd have to wait at least another 3 years to use that technique, or 2.5. As for him joining Akatsuki, I always see it as a relationship of convenience. He still wants Sasuke, and I think he feels through them he can get Sasuke. Not to mention that he probably has not knowledge, but he probably can play on the little weaknesses they still have going on. As for the whole him knowing if Obito is Madara or not, I'm gonna also see that. Apparently Kabuto was the one who knew that because he traveled around. How he found the body and Orochimaru didn't, I don't know, but that's apparently what happened there. That being said, yeah, I mean, he basically says, I know you're planning something big, perhaps another war. I was like, and what if I am? Well then, apparent leader-sama, I can help you with that. And so he says, I ask for one thing in return. Sasuke. Sasuke is behind Konoha lines. But if you're creating a war, then that is exactly the best time for me to make my move, would it not? And it's true. With a war going on, Sasuke incarcerated, there really wouldn't be any better time to get him because almost every ninja, if not all ninjas, would be out of the village at that point. But we need to back up because we would also be dealing with the war arc being basically kind of being charged up. Naruto would still be sent away to the island to A, train in the Nine Tails Chakra, B, be not a target for the Akatsuki. And unlike before, I think they just kind of let him know what's going on. Naruto doesn't like this, but he also agrees, I have to train, I do have to get stronger. I need to control the Nine Tails Fox Chakra, otherwise I nearly lost Hinata, and I don't want it on my friends, and I can't deal with this anymore. I gotta control this. And they're about to leave. Hinata holds him, gives him a kiss, and there's like, I'm gonna be back, babe. Don't believe it. So and then she just, I think we know for a fact being with Naruto helped her personality up, made her a lot more open. So she probably even smiles and gives a little grin. It's like, you better. And Sakura's kind of lamenting. It's like, I wish they're so happy together. Maybe, and she even maybe laments a little bit. Maybe I guess I missed my chance with Naruto, didn't I? But no, I'm happy for him. And she's thinking on Sasuke and just like, no. And people probably, maybe Lee's like, Sakura, are you all right? Are you all right, Sakura? You seem a little troubled. I was like, no, it's fine, Lee. It's like, I'm here if you need anything. Anything? I'm so lonely. I mean, look, to be fair. But we also still don't know who the hell Metal's mom is, / Rock Lee's wife, baby mama. So, yeah, we don't know. Regardless, Naruto obviously meets Beads, like, oh, what up, my friend? And, meets his evil doppelganger, fails at first, then ultimately beats him down. Fast forward, obviously, to his fight with Kurama. Now, his fight with Kurama. Naruto actually wasn't doing bad in his fight with Kurama initially. Granted, Kurama was starting to overpower him with his chakra, but then Kushina stepped in, and then he ultimately was able to find himself and remember who you are. And ultimately overwhelm the chakra and take the chakra. Here, Naruto, I think, fares a lot better in that fight. He's got the Sage mode activated, fires the Rasengans, Gomu Gomu Momi, goes gear 2nd immediately. Then he's like, not enough, gear 3rd! Just Rasengan's like, Shadow Blood Jutsu, gear 3rd! Rasengan's gone! Just huge ass Rasengan, blasting right into him. Now, remember what I said earlier in earlier parts of the series. For Naruto, Haki in this case is essentially using his chakra, particularly Kurama's chakra, in a way to harden his skin while he's using the gears. Because he's not using Kurama's chakra here, he's using his own, I'm not sure Gear 4 would actually be available to him here. You could make an argument they could be using Sage chakra, but that's a uses of Sage chakra I actually don't know if we've seen. The only person who's done anything similar to that, which involves affecting their actual body in that fashion, or in any sort of fashion, would be Jungo. He's the only one who's actually morphed his body in a way that maybe hardens it up a bit. So I guess there's precedent for Sage Chakra being able to do that, and maybe Naruto takes the risk and does it, and for the sake of argument, it works. So he goes into Gear 4, just boom, 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 and they're clashing. And so he's doing a lot better in the tug of war until Kurama finally starts to overwhelm him a little bit. Then Kushina pops in, says how she's proud. Find a girl just like your 8-year-old mom. It's like, oh, I don't know if Hinata's exactly that. Hinata, Hiyashi's daughter? Oh, that she's so sweet. Then that's nice too. And he overwhelms the fox and ultimately gets KCM. Would you call it KCM1? I guess it's KCM1. Now, combine KCM1 with the Devil Fruit he already has. Mind you, we're not at the Gear 5th yet. Obviously, this is the last chapter, too, so we will get to Gear 5th. But combine that, and you've now got an extremely durable, near impossible to put down Naruto in many ways. He's got the chakra output, the ability to mold his chakra, the amount of Rasengans, and the durability of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, with going all the way up to Gear 4 right now. Oh, man, he is a beast right now. Now, someone also did bring up I should have put Hinata on Team 7 to replace Sakura because he was trained by Tsunade. That's not really how that works. I was already planning to not have Sakura. Let me put it this way. If Sakura had been completely barred from being a ninja, then yeah, I think there could have been a reworking of teams where Naruto could have been on a different team. Because at that point, it's not Team 7 anymore. Team 7's gone. It's Naruto gets put on some other team. As it stands, though, that's not what happened. Though Hinata's probably a boon in the war, medically speaking. For example, when we get to the final fight coming up here with Madara and Naruto goes down on the ground, I do believe it's Hinata, not Sakura, who's coming in to save his ass. By the by, there were some disagreements, by the way, about me allowing Kankuro to live. Saying that's not how poison works. Okay. First off, poison works in many different ways. Now, maybe in this case, this is not how the poison will work. But if you have enough people to neutralize, not the point, but offset poison, your body can build up tolerances and immunities. I'm not saying that would have been the case here, but what I am saying is with enough medical interference, you could stave off poison. It's just a matter of toxicity levels. And Again, I'm not saying that's necessarily what would happen here, and I'm not trying to argue the point entirely. I'm just saying, for my money, because Sakura was maybe about a third as good as she is in the original, which is still very good as far as medics go, I felt it was enough to at least let Kankuro live. Now, if you want to disagree, that's fine. I'm not here to have that argument with you or anything like that. I'm just saying that was just my choice. Kankuro, though, can't be a ninja. Like, his days as a ninja are done. That much I fully admit. But let's be honest. If I let Kankuro die, what does that ultimately change if I just take away him being a ninja? Yes, Tamari and Gaara lost a sibling, so that is very unfortunate. Maybe they're a little bit more harsher and jaded, but Tamari barely has any fights in the series at this point. And Gaara, fights Sasuke, also fights his dad, fights the Mizukage Edo Tensei, I think he fights with, and he fights with Madara. But Kankuro being dead doesn't change any of that. So either he's dead or he's just permanently unable to be a ninja. It doesn't change anything for those characters. It might change something. It doesn't even change anything for Naruto because he's not close to Kankuro. So the only thing it changes is that fight he has with the Edo Sasori and Edo Deidara. That's the only in Chiyo. That's it. That's the only thing that it changes. And I still think they'd end up being beaten anyway, just be by someone else. Now that being said, Sasori was the first one to basically have his unfinished business taken care of, so he kind of went to the Pure Lands. I believe that's what their heaven is called, Pure Lands. But I think they would have also figured out that could have worked too. It's not like, okay, we got to make them feel loved. That's how we got to it. That's not how that works. But regardless, Naruto trains for a little bit. Kasame obviously is still around. In fact, as I put it, Kasame still would have went after B. Here's the thing: some people think that he would have sent Kasame after the Eight Tails. The immediate problem there would have been that was still in the Cloud Village, or at least close enough to the Cloud Village where the Raikage could have shown up and would have taken his head off, clean off. Like, there's a reason Kasame substituted with a Zetsu clone. He knew that together he couldn't take them both on. He could not do that. Despite as strong as Kasame is, he can't take both these guys on. So there's no way you would have sent Kasame of all people after him. Orochimaru, though, was more expendable in my opinion, because if he has Orochimaru under his belt, or under his let's call it command, then okay, either Orochimaru proves himself and brings back the A-Tails, or I get rid of Orochimaru. Either way, it's a win-win for me. So that was my logic there. Should note that as the war commences, Orochimaru is the one using the Edo Tensei. Now, as is noted, because Kabuto uses the Edo Tensei differently than Orochimaru does. Orochimaru basically kind of robs them of free will. Although, with Kabuto by his side, I imagine Kabuto might put in the suggestion, no, actually, Orochimaru, it's probably better to give them their free will. After all, it's like, and why would that be, Kabuto? Because what better fun could it be for you to be forced to fight your friend, even beyond the grave? And Orochimaru probably said, you really can be quite vicious sometimes, Kabuto. I love it. And so, I think that might be the excuse you have. They still have their personalities intact. Now, the war goes on. Orochimaru does not attack the turtle. I do not see that happening. In fact, what I actually see happening is Obito, while the war is going on, we cut over to Sasuke in his jail cell. Obito, shows up and says, "Who's there? What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, don't you remember me? It's been so long, Sasuke. I thought I can't, but I can't. I can't. Oh God, I'm sorry. I just got distracted. But I can't blame you for forgetting who I am." It's like, Orochimaru, you. And it's like, and who are you? It's like, just an acquaintance of an acquaintance. Call me the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, and he's just like, what? It's like, we're here to release you, Sasuke. And furthermore, Obito shows he's got Itachi's eyes. Like, how did you? I have my ways. The Hokage locked them away, thought she hid them, but there are ways to find where they are. I don't think she's bringing Itachi's sealed eyes with them wherever they go. But that being said, they probably took a little bit of finding, but again, with no ninja in the village really to help stop him, it probably was no big deal. And so they had said, tell me, do you want to get out of here? Do you want revenge against Itachi? I want revenge on Itachi. And I want Naruto. And so, excellent. And so they take Sasuke. Now, Sasuke still needs time to recover. However, with Orochimaru there, I imagine they can speed up the process. Because Orochimaru, even though he's not a mednin, knows a lot about medicine and operations in the human body and anatomy. So I'm sure he can figure out how to incorporate those eyes better. He also can sense that Sasuke he's physically nowhere near as powerful as he should be. So there's some augmentation going on during the war. He's probably has Kabuto managing the Edos at the moment. And he's probably just saying, he's probably thinking about maybe betraying Orochimaru, but he also knows Orochimaru could easily just take him out at this point because he doesn't have all the augmentations he's put into himself. So ultimately, the war is joined. Orochimaru joins Kabuto again. Naruto and Killer Bee join the war as well, and he tries to stop him. Doesn't go well. It goes even worse now. It's because he can now just also uses boing, just bounce. Makes a bunch of shadow clones, goes in, saves the day. They meet up with Nagato and Itachi. Now, at this point in the series, Sasuke had recovered and was ready to fight. He's not quite there yet. However, he will be there probably in a little bit a while longer. But Nagato and Itachi both face off with Naruto. And unfortunately, Itachi basically just says, all right, and does the Edo Tensei, or does the Koto Katsukame, basically releases himself, or releases the command from the Cloro to, protect the village. And I think it's to protect the village, not kill yourself or anything like that. I think he would try to basically turn Obito back into a good guy, just like he would against Sasuke as well. And so Orochimaru's like, Itachi's a completely different being. And so they're fighting Nagato. They would beat Nagato down even more capably. Itachi would go solo against Orochimaru and ultimately still probably win, to be honest. Granted, there is a release for the Edo Tensei, but it would release all the Edo Tenseis, and we know Orochimaru's not going to do that. So they would be duking it out for a while. He brings out his sword. Itachi brings out Susanoo. And I think he does ultimately trap Orochimaru in Izanami, just as he did with Kabuto, who does as what is this jutsu, Izanami? And so ultimately he is released. Now, the big set piece coming up here. Madara is summoned. Naruto tries to take on Madara with his clone. He tries to fight Obito. Doesn't really go the same, or goes about the same here. Using, say, Gear 3 with the Fox's Chakra, he's able to hold back the Tail Beast as best he can. Ultimately, he gains the trust of Kurama and Son Goku, gains the full Kurama mode. Again, it's about the same, really. I mean, I'm like a broken record, but really, his physicality doesn't do much against Obito, except when he's able to land a hit. And then obviously the Ten Tails arrives. Madara also arrives. They're fighting off the Ten Tails as best they can. And that is when Sasuke ultimately makes it to the battlefield. Now, Sasuke probably also being Sasuke when it got out of there before he was able to really. By the way, Orochimaru's probably augmented the white Zetsus, all that as best he can, because he did have DNA samples from the first Hokage. It's not impossible. But more to the point, he think words here. Sasuke. He's probably not fully recovered now. He's just had a huge drug augmentation, and he's kind of he's sweating a little bit. I finally found you, Naruto. Naruto. Sasuke. And he's got his eternal Mangekyo because the trauma of his brother dying would have still activated that. That being said, however, he does want to fight Naruto, but it's like, look, you want to fight me, fine, but we deal with this first. Like I care about the Tentacles, fine, whatever. And they try to team up best they can. Sasuke is still a lot weaker here than he is in the original. His body just isn't trained for all this. He doesn't have the chakras or the physicality, any of it. Still, they're able to fight back Obito only for Madara to get in there and put them both down. Now, with all that being said, we get to the ultimate part of the series. The part that you're all waiting for, this thumbnail is essentially made for. When he meets Hagoromo. He's given the Sun Seal, the Six-Path Chakra, but then even Hagoromo here is like, those sounds, are they drums? What is this? And Naruto tells him, I don't know, but I'm feeling great. Let's do this. And all of a sudden, Naruto, he's got the sage eyes, but he's also just starting. And so the drums of liberation beat as his heart is beating like a drums of liberation, and Gear 5 is activated. And so he's looking at Madara and just is like, woo! And because so here's the thing, Luffy has kind of Toon Force, but it's not actually called Toon Force. What it is he basically can just bend things to his will, more or less. Is how it's kind of described. He can rubberize the world around him a certain degree, because it's the ultimate embodiment of freedom, is what the Gomu Gomu no Mi is. And so ultimately, that is kind of how that functions. So he fires like the laser thing, and Naruto's like, boink, no, holy crap, you gotta try it. And just starts bending the world around him to his will. Sasuke does also wake up as well. He does have his Rinnegan, but again, the chakra boost is important, but still, he's weaker than Naruto here. They would end up going into Kage will ultimately awaken, do the Infinite Tsukuyomi. They would go into Dimension, fight her. And Naruto is really the one pulling the weight here. Like, he is just going, Shadow Clone Jutsu! It's Ashbone! Does hit a clone positive. Boing, and saying, boing! Just rubber fires the bones. And, she just starts getting rammed. Just boom, boom, boom. It's like, what? It's like, woo! Boom, boom. And just she's like trying to fire the tail beast bomb. Just like he did with Kaido, the Bora Bora blast, just negs it. Just and just everything is just kind of like she's just getting more and more annoyed with this guy. Unfortunately, Gear 5 has a severe time limit to it, and in fact, the first time he used it, I think it like aged him, almost looked like he was de-aging or aging up. So I think right as he finally gets tired, he doesn't de-age here, I think, because Kurama's there to kind of offset that, and maybe even offset the fatigue. So now he's just in standard Sage mode. Oh no. And they finally use the sun, and they finally are able to kind of get a hold of him with the Sun Seal. As I mentioned, in this scenario, when he's like down, nearly dying, Hinata is the one there just like bringing him back to life. Now, the one issue here is Sakura's not, well, Sakura probably is here, she was saved, but she doesn't have the strength feat to just wham Kage in the head like she did originally. But adding some Earth Release, doing like that Crater Fist technique and just boom, smashing her in the head might do the trick. And so all's well as ends well there. They are able to reseal her. Sasuke, though, basically funnels the Tail Beast Chakra into him like he does originally. Naruto and him square off one last time, Valley at the end style. They clash, but Naruto again goes through the gears as he did originally, eventually going back into Gear 5th. He's got a little bit more control now, and completely kind of negs all of Sasuke's attacks at that point until he tires out, and Naruto is legitimately the winner. Like, not even like arm blown off winner, just the winner. And so, he just finally says, hey, you won, Naruto, you win. And so at the end, you would still get your main couple pairings, except here, I think, could Sasuke be relieved? I would think that maybe with the war efforts, maybe, but he does also have a curse mark on him. Now, that being said, Sasuke was saved by Kabuto showing up. I think it could be the same with Orochimaru here. Orochimaru being smart to figure out how to get out of there, trying to save Sasuke for himself. And it could either be that Sasuke finally saw the error of his ways, or he didn't, and ultimately he is he goes off, does his own thing, and real twist, does actually become Orochimaru's next vessel, because as strong as he is, and he is, Orochimaru, I think, could probably overwhelm, even though Sasuke's Sharingan was enough to overpower Orochimaru the first time around. Orochimaru was severely weakened at that point. Here, Orochimaru probably actually regains his arms for those first 3 years, and then the next 3 years, he maybe is able to take Sasuke eventually. But Sasuke would keep training, getting stronger, so either way, so Orochimaru's probably pardoned as he is. We know he gets pardoned at the end. It's like, fine, just do it. You do your stuff over there. We'll even finance you. Just chill. And then obviously we get Naruto marrying Hinata. You get most of the pairings, but Sakura and who is the biggest question. Now, the people who would be single in this scenario that would not be paired off are Rock Lee. Well, I mean, we don't know if Rock Lee's truly single. We just know he has a kid, and we never met the wife. But Rock Lee, Shino, Kiba, even though, again, in Boruto, he was, I think, dating like a cat girl. But anyway, Kiba. So the question is then, of those three, who should he ultimately get with? The answer would probably be Rock Lee. That is the most reasonable one, the one who actually has been proving he really likes her and all that, whereas one guy just fell in love with her because she promised to go with him and then still tried to kill her. Like, sorry, Sakura, this is not love. Like, this is big. Give me a cinema therapy episode of Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke. This is not love. This is, you want to talk about toxic. But yeah, so Metal is ultimately the son of Sakura and Lee, which would still be a pretty powerful kid, to say the least. So yeah, that's where part 7 ends, and that is the end of the series. If you want me to touch, crap,
amazing, my God,
God, freaking ads. If you wanted me to touch on Boruto, because the only thing that would really matter is any fight involving Naruto. Delta he takes care of easier. The question is, does he beat Ishiki? Like, straight up beat Ishiki? That is actually a very good question. With the Gear 5th and how much control Naruto would have over it after like 10 years? No, more than 10 years. There's 16 when Boruto ends. Boruto is around 13, which would mean that they're almost in their 30s at that point. So it's almost 15 years then? Or getting close to that? So, yeah, they are almost certain of, and actually, no, they didn't even get married until after they were even older when they got married. So I believe they're all like in their early 30s, right? If I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could always just get the age up here real quick to find out. What is Naruto's age in Boruto? That is, let's find that out. I want to say he's in his like early 30s, like 32, 33 kind of scenario. Not Naruto fight scene. All right, Naruto Uzumaki. All right, how old is Naruto in Boruto? Let's find that out, shall we? As you can tell, I don't care that much about Boruto enough to watch or read Boruto. This is why I don't go into Boruto. A, it would just extend these out longer than they need to be extended. But B, come on, okay, well, that's Naruto in part 1 and 2. Where's Naruto in Boruto? Let's try New Era Naruto. That's... All right, New Era. Well, that's Hokage Naruto. You're not gonna give me the. Okay, let me see here. New Era. Go away. New Era, part 1. Okay, so the New Era. Shortly after the wedding, Hinata had a son. 2 years later, they had a daughter. In the anime, over the years, Naruto constantly busy, leading to him not taking the Chunin exams. Despite being a Genin, he was selected to succeed Kakashi to become the 7th Hokage. Let's see here. Doing me and Sasuke. Okay. Sasuke. So, yeah, there's not much to say about how far in the future it is. We know that Boruto himself is around 13. Naruto and Hinata didn't get married immediately after the war or anything like that. That's what the whole last movie's about. They were almost certainly like in their late teens, early 20s when they got married. So no, they have to be in their early 30s minimum. They got to be in their early 30s. So yes, point being is that you do a decade of training with Gear 5th, where you can just indefinitely stay in that mode, and the abilities that Gear 5 really allow you, add on Kurama's chakra and Sage chakra. He still has 6-pass chakra. He just doesn't have the Truth Seeker orbs anymore. Which that I always found weird. Why did he lose the Truth Seeker orbs? As far as I know, he does still have 6-pass chakra. Sasuke has his Rin Sharingan, so Naruto should still have 6-pass chakra. But so why doesn't he have Truth Seeker orbs anymore? Is it ever explained? Why did? Yeah, I'm looking that up right now. I want to know an answer to that. Why he lost them? Why did Naruto lose his truth-seeking orbs, which is the second most asked why Naruto lose question. Okay, he lost 3 when he pinned. Okay, but why? The reason why he doesn't have truth-seeking orbs. That's the question I want to know. Why does he know? Why are they gone? There's no decoration on the part of transformation. They're infinite and they're finite and will not return once you lose them. Here's the proof. He starts at 6, but okay, but why? Why is that the? Why doesn't his body just suddenly like make more of them? It's just a combination of all 5 chakra elements. Couldn't he just remake them? So no, I don't know. I just find that an odd thing. Like the fact that he lost them, I just think is weird. Regardless, though, yeah, I actually think he could legitimately beat Ishiki. With the Toon Force like abilities of Gear 5 added on with the sheer amount of power that Kurama gives you, and one of Naruto's other skills. I think Naruto could beat Ishiki and not go into Baryon mode, be frank. So that would mean then that, now, would Kawaki still be able to seal him in the Daikokunin? I might be mispronouncing that word. But at that dimension, could he seal him in that dimension? Because he'd still have Kurama's chakra, I'm not sure he would. Because he still could move at those literal light speeds. Beyond light speeds at that point. But could he beat any of the Shinju at that then? I mean, again, Gear 5 is kind of broken in many ways. I think if Naruto was still around, and would he theoretically, he be immune to omnipotence? Because Kurama doesn't make him a Wari immune to omnipotence. So I think that's a good reason for him not to be. But then does Gear 5 and the Lawful Freedom, because it's the embodiment of freedom, do that? Or Gear 5, but you know what I mean. The Gomu Gomu no Mi and its full release form. And does plot armor also help Naruto? It could be possible that that could actually lead in getting sealed the fact that he's aware of omnipotence and the fact that he's not affected by it. Because we know there's only a handful of people who aren't. And therefore, that's the thing that ultimately gets him accidentally sealed when he confronts Kawaki and just gets sealed by Hinata. I was like, sorry, I'm doing this for your own good. Yeah, no, you're not. You're doing this for your own good. Stop it. Just stop it, Kawaki. God, Kawaki sucks as a character. Like, this is one of our overarching villains, folks. An angsty teen. Joy. There is more to it than that, but the little I've known of Boruto, I do not like Kawaki's character. I digress, though. So I don't like when I talk Boruto. That's like the little I'll talk about, like the main things that Naruto would be a player in. So that's the end of this particular What If. I'll put a poll up for the Naruto Zanpakuto one later tonight. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry, someone brought up too, and I brought up too, that this one wasn't as flashy as, say, the Kage no Mi. And that's because the Kage no Mi allowed for a lot of weird shit to happen. Whereas this one was just, it was a physical fruit. So Naruto's abilities really weren't changed that much. It just came down to the amount of damage you could dish out and the amount of damage you could take. No nuance to it. And the only times it changed really is when I could allow him to more easily beat an opponent. But I digress. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.